that they can avail the 5% of the national revenue collection of the Philippine government. So that is a black automatic appropriation. They don't need to defend it.
While human rights abuse, the perpetrator is a non-state actor.
You mean with a private actor, for example. In your experience, what is the example of this private sector perpetrator of human rights abuses?
Subscribe, like, dan nyalakan loncengnya.
With you, Commissioner Archie from the BHRC, right?
Yes.
And also with Attorney
Alladin.
Okay.
Tamama.
Attorney Alladin Tamama.
Yes.
Also from the BHRC.
Yes.
And we have another guest here, Attorney Succor.
Yes.
Also from the BHRC. So it is privilege for us to have this time to discuss with you about the BHRC, because we understand that Philippines have their own National Commission for Human Rights, but now BHRC at regional level also established. So we would like to know what is the reason behind the establishment of the BHRC, Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission.
Yes, thank you, Sir Faisal, for that question. And before I answer the question of Sir Faisal, I would like to greet the people of Aceh, Achiness, and of course, I would also like to give thanks to NP, Indonesian NP Philippines for supporting this mission. But anyway, the question is actually question of like why BHRC established. Before the BHRC, we already have a regional human rights commission before during the autonomous region and Muslim Mindanao. The main reason of the creation of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission is basically one reason of the Bangsamoro struggle, because it is the oppression against the Bangsamoro. It's actually a product of a more than 40 years armed struggle of the Bangsamoro Mujahideen, and of course almost 20 years of political struggle, meaning in the peace process. So Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission is a product of the peace negotiation between the government of the Philippines and of course the MILF. So the very objective of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission is to address the historical injustice against the Bangsamoro with the thematic objective of to have a mandate on the protecting the rights of every Bangsamoro, and at the same time on the promotion side, how to promote the rights of every Bangsamoro people. So basically, that's one thing why Bangsamoro Human Rights was created.
Who created this? Oh, I mean, who established this? How it was established?
Actually, in the product of framework agreement of the Bangsamoro within the GPH, we have the bill or the charter, or we have the law for the Bangsamoro. We call it the Bangsamoro Organic Law. Then that Bangsamoro Organic Law stipulated the creation of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission. Since that the Bangsamoro government started January 19 of 2019, that's the signing of the Bangsamoro Organic Law. It means that that is also the start of the founding date or the creation of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, which provided in the Bangsamoro Organic Law. Then the Bangsamoro Parliament created a charter to formally create the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, which is the Bangsamoro Autonomy Act 04. I think it's the first office or the first institution created in the Bangsamoro transitional government.
Okay. Also, you have your own bylaw at regional level.
Yes, we have our own charter or bill within the regional level of the Bangsamoro. Despite of we have the we consider that we have the National Human Rights Institution in the national in the country, but they are the same status. They are both independent, but of course the BHRC, the jurisdiction of BHRC is within the Bangsamoro territory. How to serve the mandate of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission.
I would like to know what is the distinction between these both institution, I mean the national level with the BSRC, what is the really distinction that make it different, that you need a specific institution like this, like BSRC?
Yes, thank you, Sir Faisal. Since that we have two lawyers here, the Protection Division Head, Attorney Succor, and also we have Attorney Tamama for the promotion. Maybe we can share also with the questions that you are raising. So it's about legal things. So for sure they are very knowledgeable on how to respond and to answer that kind of question. Sir Faisal,
okay.
I would like to turn over the mic to Attorney Tamama.
Tamama, yeah, please.
Good afternoon, Archie, and thank you to NP Indonesia and NP Philippines for having us here. Okay, the distinction about the two human rights institutions, the Commission on Human Rights and the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commissions. First, they were established by different laws.
Yeah.
Okay, the Commission on Human Rights was first established through a national law, and also with the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, it's also a national law, RA 11054, the Bangsamoro Organic Law, which was passed, I think, in 2018. Okay, and then as what Commissioner Archie said, it was the establishment of BUL. Along with it is the establishment of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, but was operationalized through a charter, through Bangsamoro Autonomy Act number 4. As to functions, basically, they're almost the same. They're similar in almost all features, except that in Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, we operationalize and we integrate in our operationalization, in our operations, we integrate Islamic lens. Okay, that's one. Then second, in Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, we investigate not only violators who are duty bearers, but including private individuals who violate or abuses human rights, especially if the victims are women and children, the vulnerable ones. So basically, that's the main difference between the two institutions.
Okay.
Maybe Attorney Asuko also can add in the perspective of the protection.
Yeah,
side of the
you
human rights.
already mentioned about the mandate of promotion and also protection. Please, Attorney Succor, can you explain more about the protection mandate of the BHRC?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Good afternoon to Archie. Thank you, NP Indonesia and NP Philippines. So, as to the protection mandates of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commissions, actually, the protection mandate of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission is the face of the BHRC, because the protection mandates, this includes the conduct of investigation. If there is a human rights violations or abuses, then the protection mandate of the BHRC is to conduct an investigations. Now, in the conduct of investigation, the jurisdiction of the BHRC, it's not limited. It is not limited within the territorial jurisdiction of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, but this extends the investigation mandate of the BHRC even outside the jurisdiction of the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, as long as that there is involved
Or
Bangsamoro. very much inclusive. That is the uniqueness of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commissions. Now, aside from the investigative mandate of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, so services of the protection mandate is we could extend financial assistance to the victims, the qualified members of the family of the victims of the human rights violations or abuses. I am giving emphasis to the human rights violations or abuses because these two violations are distinct. Because when we say human rights violations, the perpetrator is the state.
State actor.
While human rights abuse, the perpetrator is a non-state actor. So,
Sorry, I interrupt you.
Yes.
Please, could you give an example of what you mean with a private actor? For example, in your experience, what is the example of this private sector perpetrator of human rights abuses?
the example of this is, let us say, for instance, the violations of the women's right. Let us say, for instance, the one violating the women's right is a civilian. Let us say the husband. The husband is the perpetrator. Then we call that human rights abuse. That is one of the examples. Yes.
But it can be also a human rights violation because BHRC is at the same time a gender ombud and children ombud. If the women is minor, we can consider it the same.
It's either.
Human rights violation at the same time human rights abuses.
Another example is to make it more specific is, let us say, in rape case, and then the perpetrator is a civilian, then that is when there was a rape, then there is a violation of the right of the victim, and we call it a human rights abuse, which is subject to our investigation.
But in that kind of cases, normally it will goes to the jurisdiction of police investigation and using the criminal procedures. So how the role of BHRC compared to the police jurisdiction in this kind of cases?
Usually, the lens of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission in the conduct of investigation is to determine the existence of human rights abuse. While the investigative mandate of the Philippine National Police in our country is more on criminal aspect to determine the identity of the perpetrator. So usually that is one of the distinctions of the human rights violations or abuse committed by the let us say the as investigated by the PNP and the BHRC.
Together, you mean?
Actually, the investigation of BHRC is separate and distinct from the investigation of the PNP, the Philippine National Police. Separate and distinct. But once we are through with our investigation and we have already known that the corresponding criminal case was already filed by the police to the prosecutor's office or to the court as the case may be, then our disposition is, aside from declaring the existence of human rights, we are subjecting that case in monitoring status.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. But does the protection mandate also including the mandate of resolving past human rights violation during the conflict time, or I mean, does it involve the gross human rights violation, for example, within your jurisdiction also?
Actually, as to the degree of the human rights violations, our charter and as well as our own rules of procedures does not distinguish
Okay.
whether that is a gross or not. Then, as long as that there is the possibility of human rights violations or abuse, then that falls within the mandate of the BHRC to conduct an investigation.
Okay. So you mentioned also about the provision for aid for the victims, financial assistance, or whether legal assistance or health services, for example. Is that also part of your responsibility?
Yes, actually, that is the part of the program of the BHRC under protection divisions. Because in the grant of the financial assistance to the victims and other qualified beneficiaries or families of the human rights victims of human rights violations or abuse, then because that financial assistance is an ancillary. It is an incident in the investigative power of the BHRC as mandated by law.
You mean only to address the immediate needs of the victims?
Yes, because the purpose of the financial assistance based on our guidelines is to caution the economic impact of the human rights abuse or violation.
Can you give the figures? How? I mean, I would like to know how much is financial assistance for victim, for example, on average for one case, for example. What is the amount of money that given by the BSRC?
If I remember it right, the minimum is 10,000. If I remember it right.
But for the rape, what we handled in one of the province in Maguindanao del Norte, I think they received like 36,000
Pesos.
Yes, pesos.
It varies depending
On the case, the grave of
degree
the-
and kinds of human rights
But
violation.
that's fall under the discretion of BSRC.
Yes, discretion
Yes,
of
yes.
the protection division based
But
on their
there's a
evaluation.
guideline.
There's
a guideline.
There's a guideline. And the protection division, of Attorney Succor, he's the one in charge to evaluate, validate how much the amount of money the victim receives.
As well as the reportorial requirements for the grant of financial assistance.
Oh, there is a reportorial
Yes.
a requirement
Yes,
also.
yes.
Okay.
They need to comply that.
Yeah. So, what if the case occurred beyond the autonomous region of Bangsamoro? How would you address that? I mean, I understand that you have really offices in different provinces, but who will respond to cases that occurred beyond the Bangsamoro autonomous region?
Yes. As long as Bangsamoro, within outside Bangsamoro core territory, the mandate of Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission need to do that. But the in charge is not the provincial office, but the office, the regional office, especially the protection division, and Attorney Succor is into rescue if there are cases of human rights violation outside the territory of Bangsamoro.
Does it need a report first in order Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission can respond to one particular cases, or how it will be respond to like say the information of the occurrence of human rights violations?
Actually, as to the response, that is answerable by our rules on procedures. Based on our ROP, we call it ROP, the Rules of Procedures of BHRC in the conduct of the investigations. There are two ways of conducting an investigation. One is upon complaint. If there is a complaint for human rights violations or abuse, or if there is no complaint, we could conduct investigation motu proprio. Meaning to say motu proprio, in layman's term, that is at the instance of the BHRC. If we learn it from the social media or from the anonymous complaint, then we could conduct an investigation even without the complaint filed or come in our office, as well as to our provincial offices.
Okay. So I would like to go to the promotion
Promotion
mandate. Yeah. Can you explain, Attorney Tamama, what is the inside the mandate of promotion that has been conducted by BHRC so far?
Yes. The promotion services being provided by the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission is aimed at informing the people about their rights and inculcating them to respect also the right of others, and demand or claim from the state or the duty bearers the fulfillment of their rights, and as well as the duty bearers to comply with their obligation of protecting, promoting, and fulfilling the rights of the rights holders. So under the promotion services, there are three major sub-programs. One is education and training. So we conduct trainings, seminars, and workshops to different right holders, meaning those are the people that are entitled to claim their rights from the government or from the duty bearers.
So meaning directly to the communities?
Yes, we conduct trainings, workshops directly to the communities. And then we also conduct education and training to duty bearers to enable them to comply with their obligations of promoting and protecting the rights of the right holders. Okay. Second is we have the public awareness. We conduct summit, press conferences, press statements to inform also the public about different updates about important laws pertaining on human rights, and as well as we also do publication in print and online. For example, in our social media, we post statements, okay, and we have the IEC, information, education, and communication, as well as we have our training manuals. That is all for the public to be informed about their human rights.
And all of these activities funded by the central government or by Bangsamoro?
It is funded
government.
by the Bangsamoro government. The Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission has a allocation. It's a fiscal autonomy. There is the yearly appropriation for that. Although we have some partners, international NGOs, sometimes they shoulder or defray a portion of the cost. But basically, it's the Bangsamoro government through the budget of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, its share in the block grant. It's annual appropriation or annual budget of the BHRC, which funded that programs under promotion services.
That's what I mentioned this morning, that the block grant is actually the 5% of the annual revenue collection of the national. So the Bangsamoro, as stipulated in the Bangsamoro Organic Law, can receive the block grant for 10 years from 2019 or up to 2029, that they can avail the 5% of the national revenue collection of the Philippine government. So that is a block automatic appropriation. They don't need to defend it in the Congress of the Philippines. But for the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, since that it's already downloaded as GAAB of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, they need to defend it in the parliament of the Bangsamoro. So that's annual budget would need to be defended in the parliament of the Bangsamoro.
Okay. Can you give the figures of? We would like to know the block grant.
The block grant
in total for each year.
I think this year we have like 97 billion, if I'm not mistaken. And for the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, we propose a 107 or 114 this year. So the approved budget for the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission for this year is 114 million. That's allocated for the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission. It's up to the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission how to distribute within the provinces and divisions of the institution.
Oh, that's. Do you think that amount is enough for the needs of the implementation of the mandate of the institution so far, sir?
We have 7 provinces that operating the whole region. What we noticed, the 114 is it's not enough to implement all the programs of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission. So this year, I think they have another. How many? We have we have additional budget proposal. I think higher than 114 this year, this coming 2025.
Okay.
Because it seems that the 114 is not enough with the operations that we have, especially the 7 provinces are really working, and of course the division offices of the protection and the promotion are really working hard. So the budget is not enough.
How many personnel in total do we have in Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission to give the viewers the
105. All in all, from 7 provinces and
provinces and also
together with the region, we have like 105.
Oh, that's big. Oh.
Yes, 105. In the regional office, I think there are more than 60.
Oh.
And I would like to add that other than the protection services and promotion services, we also have that fulfillment services, or what we call as policy research and advisory services. Its function mainly is this kind of service is a positive step to facilitate the enjoyment of human rights. So it includes the advisory services advising the government and the reports and the recommendations. So those are the 3 main services: the protection, the promotion, and the policy research and advisory services. And in addition to that, the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission has special functions. Number 1 is the Gender and Development Ombud. The BHRC ensures that the women's rights are promoted and protected in accordance with the Philippine domestic laws, with the Philippine laws, and international human rights instruments. Second, the BHRC is also a children ombud. It ensures that the status, rights, and interests of children are upheld in accordance with Philippine laws and international human rights instruments also. Then other than that, the BHRC is also a transitional justice mechanism on the human rights component because under the Bangsamoro Organic Law and under the Bangsamoro Autonomy Act Number 4, the Charter of the HRC, until such time that the TGRC, Transitional Justice Reconciliation Commission, has been will be created, then the BHRC will act as the transitional justice mechanism of the human rights components of the TJ, Transitional Justice.
Thank you for the additional information. I would like to know so far how was the reception of the different government institutions related to the advisory services that you provided, because sometimes the human rights thing seen as something need to be fulfilled when it is possible to fulfill in terms of budget, in terms of enough instrument or capability of the government. I would like to know how is the receptance of the government in Bangsamoro related to these services. Is there any problem, or what is the experience from your
So far, the reception very positive. Since that most of the agencies, for example, Ministry of Basic and Higher and Technical Education, they are very focused on the rights of education among the children of the Bangsamoro. We are working together. And even other agencies, for example, Ministry of Social Services or MSSD, we work together. For example, rape case on the rights of women, we usually we have a referral system with them. And that because they are the only they are the agency that have a capacity to give the psychosocial intervention to those survivor, for example, of the rape case. And another thing is, for example, there are displacement of the internally displaced people. So what we did is that we refer to the agencies like MSSD for them to have an immediate response for the possible intervention. So it means that even other agencies are they are working at the same time on the lens of human rights. Even that there are ministries, for example, right to shelter, right to education, right of women and children. For example, very specific for women's right, we have the Bangsamoro Women's Commission, Youth Commissions, and then these are all working for human rights, because human rights is a cross-cutting issues. Not just the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission is responsible working for working for human rights, but even all the agencies and ministries of the BARM, they need to work together just to fulfill the human rights issues and concern that we need to address within the Bangsamoro context.
So we can say that you have a very good relationship with the different government institutions in Bangsamoro.
Yes, the different with the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, we stick on the idea that we are independent commission. So we have our engagements. We are not controlled by even the government of the day, the chief government of the day, like Office of the Chief Minister. They have no control of us because we're independent. So we are independently doing our mandates within the context of the Bangsamoro, in partnership with other agencies, of course, of the Bangsamoro.
I also would like to know with the structure. You have commissioners, right?
Yes.
And you have only 3 commissioners.
Supposedly we have 3 commissioners, but right now we only 2. The chairman, myself as a senior commissioner, and the junior commissioner just left us, I think, last year because he ended her term because the commission has a fixed term. Like the chairman have 7 years term, the senior commissioner, myself, is 5 years, and the next after me is 3 years term. So that's very fixed.
And how was the selection process?
The selection process of the commission is actually identified or recommended by the chief minister of the Bangsamoro to the president of the Republic of the Philippines. Then upon the recommendation of the chief minister, then immediately the office of the president can appoint the commissioners of the Bangsamoro.
So the recommendation, does it, like giving names and then the president
Yes.
elect one of or certain number of people from the recommended.
Just only one name given by the chief ministers of the Bangsamoro.
Okay.
So upon the decision in the level of the Bangsamoro government, the chief minister, they can decide it there already. Then only one from the senior commissioner or even the chairman or even the junior commissioner to give it to the office of the president. So the office of the president have no right like choosing one or two, but because it's already done in the level of the chief minister of the Bangsamoro.
Oh, okay.
In addition to that, as to the appointment of the commission proper, the chairperson and the two commissioners, another limitation is there is an ethnic distribution.
Actually, none. None, because even in the BAA, there's no mentioning of ethnic distribution. As long as actually the qualification is supposedly at least within the three commissioners, we have at least a lawyer or two lawyers within that commission. If the chairman is very fixed, qualification that the chairman should be a lawyer, member of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines. Next, after the chairman, either not a lawyer, as long as he has or she has a degree or a master's, and that he is qualified or he or she is qualified for the senior or junior commissioner. But the important is the chairman should be a lawyer and member of the IBP.
Is there any fixed criteria of this for to be a commissioner that make it in public? I mean,
only for the chairperson. Only for the
Only.
chairperson. For the senior commissioner and junior commissioner, not necessary. But only for the chairperson is required. At least he is or she is a member of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, meaning a regular lawyer.
okay.
In addition to that, the chairperson, since it is a requirement that he's a lawyer, because he functions both as a policymaker and the head of the executive function, meaning the operations of the BHRC is headed by the chairperson. So he appoints the different career positions in the BHRC, as well as the policy being legislated or being formulated by the commissioners. He is the presiding officer.
Okay. So I can see that in Bangsamoro, you already really progressive in terms of incorporating human rights into the governance of the Bangsamoro.
Yes. Technically, we're just like 3 years
Yeah.
old. From the regular operations of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission. Of course, with the expertise and technical know-how of these people, like we have even in division heads, our lawyers. Of course, we are like imagining the next 5, 10, 20 years from now, BHRC is really better than what we are expecting because of the human resources that we have right now.
I would like to know, in your opinion so far, what is the best achievement so far that the institution have achieved in your perspective?
You first.
It can be from different section, like in terms of promotion, in terms
Yes.
of protection.
I think generally the BHRC, as what Commissioner Archie said, is still young because it's 3 years old, only 3 years old. But the accomplishments that we are proud of are many. First, the guidelines. We already have our guidelines that is contextualized based on Bangsamoro setting, such as the Gender and Development Ombud Guidelines. Then recently, we launched the Children Ombud Guidelines, and we also have the Transitional Justice Mechanism Guidelines, the one supported by the IOM.
Yes.
And we have the legal assistance and financial assistance guidelines for the protection. So I think that guidelines would speak in part the important accomplishment of BHRC, because the people are being apprised or being informed of the system and mechanisms of the operations of the BHRC and of how they can avail of the services so that their human rights can be protected and promoted.
Now I would like to know about the most challenging situation you faced during the implementation of the mandate. Is there any you can share with us? What are the most challenging situation?
I think the most challenging situation in investigation mandate of the BHRC is the one that that it has been experienced by our commissioner. Perhaps you could share us yung when
Yes,
you respond to the
since that most of the investigation work in the protection side is human rights violation, you have to, for example, secure the family of the victims who was massacred by the security perpetrator. Like you have to get them from that their community, and even that late night, like midnight, you have to just secure, we call it like the package or the survivor. So those are the challenging part of this work, because we don't have any weapon to go to the field just to secure, sometimes most of the time, the survivor or the family. That's why I think right now they are working for the crafting of the witness protection, because witness protection is one of the important to finish, to have the guidelines.
Do you have already the witness protection system in Bangsamoro?
Actually, we are working on that. The guidelines are on process right now, because that's the only way to to work on how to protect the survivor, especially victims of human rights violation, their families. Right now, we have like survivors of families from the previous incidents of shooting in the community.
Please.
Yes.
You want to add to this?
I just want to add on the accomplishment, because I remember, because I was recalling the data or the statistics. Another accomplishment, especially on the promotion division, is or the promotion services, is that we already conducted education and training to different sectors of the communities, the rights holders, and the duty bearers. And we are happy to say that we conducted throughout the 3 years operations of BHRC, we already conducted education and training to more than 10,000 individuals.
That's
both rights holders and duty bearers. And just lately, together
huge number already.
Yes, together with Commissioner Archie, we also conducted the strengthening capacities, meaning this is a paralegal training to human rights defenders.
Future.
Yes, because since the BHRC, although we have a manpower, but the human rights issues are so So many, it's various kind. So we need multiplier on the field. So we capacitate the CSOs and train them on paralegal. And we call them the human rights defenders also. Okay, so we are happy with that. And we produce a different information, education, and communication for them to be educated about different laws and update them about different human rights laws. So,
Additional to that is, I think, the strong relationship with the civil society organization or continuous engaging them because, like what Attorney Alladin said, the very important work of this human rights advocacy is to multiply networks to do the monitoring, to do the investigation. At least they can throw, for example, alerts in any incidents in their communities. But we believe that the only way is that the strengthening of good relationship among the civil society organization, like what we did with the NP. They have also networks from the ground. What we did is that they are inviting their networks, and we're also inviting their networks. We share our resources. They have the resources from NP Philippines and the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, and we have like an activity together. So I think that's one best practice that I can say it like one success stories of the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, because we have a very good heart to the civil society organization, because most of the people working for BHRC, like myself, I've been in the human rights work. Even the time there's no yet the Commission on Human Rights in the Autonomous Region and Muslim Mindanao, together with FARJO, way back 2010. There's no yet peace process. We're working for Mindanao Human Rights Action Center, the partner of the NP on the civilian protection component during the peace process of the MILF and the government of the Philippines. Basically, the main purpose of this is to protect the civilians.
Yes, of course. In our experience also in Aceh, CSOs really played a very important role, especially at the field level. I mean, from the ground level. And thank you for sharing all these stories about BHRC. I hope this can also inspire others in terms of building the human rights respect into the governance of the country or province in other contexts, even for regional context. I believe that you shared a very good lesson learned about how to establish and also running a commission of human rights in regional context. And I wish you for the successful in implementing the mandates after this, and also can strengthen the relation with other similar institutions in the region. If you would like to give a final statement, closing statement for this, for our viewers.
Yeah. For a final statement for this podcast, especially for the viewers of the HNS, one thing that really good working with human rights work is you need to have a strong partnership with different stakeholders. Human rights work is not just alone responsibility of any human rights institution. Human rights work is the responsibility of everybody. So we need to work together to attain the main objective of addressing all the human rights violation and human rights violations against minority, against people who really need to have a right to be protected. So that's all. And for my part, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and Sukran.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you once again, and wish you a successful implementation of the mandate of the BHRC. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Jika video ini bermanfaat untuk Anda, silakan subscribe, like, dan nyalakan loncengnya.